Nothing makes me feel more bangsawan than having a big TV. I'm talking about 75 inches and above, so you can watch all your favorite Netflix shows and your wives can simp over their favorite Korean oppas. Don't belagak lah, you think I don't know if you have a kid at home, all you're watching is Baby Shark, huh? Just let it go lah. The snow glows white on the mountain tonight, not a footprint to be seen. How do don't see footprint, you tell me? Anyways, today we are reviewing this 75-inch Xiaomi, not very Xiao, Mi TV Q1 that is priced at 7,999 ringgit, and it has 4K QLED, and for you gaming people out there, it supports 4K 120Hz. They say lah, true or not, later I check, okay? Let's get a viewing. When you think about TVs, what are the first names that come to mind? You're probably thinking about Samsung, Sony, even Panasonic, Sharp, LG, and that is because they've been in the TV market forever. And if you bought a TV in the past 20 years, you're probably quite familiar with them. The big question is, or small because it's Xiaomi, can Xiaomi really stand up against these TV making giants? It's kind of like David and Honey Boo Boo. Okay, my millennial side just came out, but it's okay lah, this video for millennials lah, not like Zoomers can afford TV also. Unless you're budak kaya lah, my intern. Xiaomi is known for giving us relatively high quality products at an affordable price so that all you mahens can also flex, because we have to be inclusive now. I'm talking about power banks, surveillance cameras, robot vacuums, and even smartphones. Like this Mi 11 Ultra that I ultra like. In fact, this isn't Xiaomi's first attempt at making a TV, but it is the largest one to date at 75 inches, 4K with 120Hz support. Could this Mi TV Q1 75-inch actually be a flagship killer? Let's take a closer look. The Mi TV Q1 75 inches is priced at 7,999 ringgit. For comparison, a similarly spec'd Samsung 75-inch 4K QLED TV will set you back about 10,499 ringgit. It has pretty thin bezels at the top and sides with an ever so slightly noticeable chin at the bottom. The back is made of a textured black plastic, while the sides are made of brushed metal. The TV itself is pretty slim with a curvy behind to bring all us geeks to the yard. Also, do take note that the stand is rather huge and chunky and takes up a lot of space, and it only lifts up your TV about 50mm or 5cm, so you won't be able to stuff a soundbar right under your TV without blocking the screen. In fact, the base of this Q1 is so chunky that you won't need to worry much about it toppling over. Side to side, there's barely any wobble, but if you shake it back and forth, there's a little bit of wobble lah, but nothing to worry about. If you want to mount the Q1 to your wall, you have to buy a special adapter from Xiaomi. Hey, Xiaomi, you are a very important grain to all of us Asians. Don't downgrade yourself into a fruit lah. It's really a bummer and weird design decision for Xiaomi to not include native VESA mount compatibility with this TV, but I definitely suggest this if you want to use a soundbar for the reasons stated before. These are the TV's dimensions. The base itself is 2.2 kilograms, about the weight of rice you eat every day because Xiaomi. Including the base, the entire thing is 33.3 kilograms. Wow, so Chinese the number, so musical to my ears. So don't be a hero and try to carry this by yourself. Later drop, fall on your head, this very sturdy build quality will be the end of you. In terms of specs, we're looking at a 75-inch 4K UHD VA panel that is capable of displaying 1 billion colors. Not really, because it's 8-bit plus FRC, not a true 10-bit panel. In terms of the backlighting, we have QLED, which is quantum dot based LED. We have local dimming for sure, and this panel itself is made by Xiaomi. Next, let's move on to the picture quality, which all of you are probably very curious about. Firstly, we have contrast ratio. As you can see, the contrast ratio is actually very good because of that 1000 nits peak brightness. Also, that local dimming, because it will turn off all the backlighting in the black areas to give us very deep blacks. And then with the very brights, we can get very good contrast lah, okay? Xiaomi marketed this TV to have a 10,000 to 1 contrast ratio. And I have no way to measure that ratio, but from my experience watching videos in YouTube, Netflix and all that kind of stuff, I find that the contrast ratio is actually very good. I give it an 8 out of 10. Next, we have local dimming. Now, the local dimming actually works pretty well because you don't see a trail of white stuff following it. That's what she said. But when it moves very fast, there's this weird flickering that's happening. All I can say is that the local dimming is just like my intern. Very local, very dim. Not bad lah, 7.5 out of 10. And for those of you very gao people that are gonna comment that my activate Windows thing is here, do remember we are testing on a test bench and we are always changing our hardware. We don't have time to keep activating our Windows. If you want to support us to have legitimate Windows even on our test bench, feel free to use this Kopi Funds QR code. In terms of screen uniformity, firstly we have black uniformity, which is actually very good. In fact, it's very close to an OLED with no blooming around the cross, which is a very good sign. As you can see, the grey and white uniformity is also excellent, which means I have to give the screen uniformity for this TV to be an 8.5 out of 10. In terms of colors, now Xiaomi marketed this TV to hit 99% BT709, which is REC 709, and 95% DCI-P3, which is supposed to be very good. Based on our test with our own X-Rite i1 Display Pro, it is actually pretty darn close, so I give it an 8.5 out of 10. The Mi TV Q1 screen brightness is actually very good, brighter than your future. At 1000 nits, you have support for many types of HDR. We have Dolby Vision, HDR10, HDR10 Plus, and also HLG. On top of that, there are quite a few HDR picture modes that are available depending on what content you are viewing, so remember to check them out. For instance, with Netflix, which supports Dolby Vision, I prefer the Dolby Vision Dark mode because you'll get quite a bit more contrast. Overall, very good, 8.5 out of 10. Now, although QLED TVs are better in bright rooms, the fact that the reflection handling on the Q1 is not that good. As you can even see the reflection of our key light, and if you hold a light up to it, it only starts to actually diffuse about this far away. Not the best, but also not the worst. I would just give it a 7 out of 10. Viewing angles is actually quite impressive for a VA panel. There is no noticeable color shift or brightness shift as you move side to side, even in extreme angles like this. So it's very good. I give it an 8.5 out of 10. As you guys know, if you follow me on Instagram and Facebook, stop, you're being creepy. No, just kidding. You'll know that I recently rescued a PS5 from scalpers, very heroic. Which is why we have to talk about gaming. Also because Xiaomi has marketed this TV, the Q1, to support 4K 120Hz. Firstly, I'm happy to report that gaming in 4K 60Hz actually feel pretty smooth and also responsive thanks to that auto low latency mode. Okay, and also because of that good HDR content support, I rather enjoyed playing AAA titles such as Elden Ring, Dying Light, and also Cyberpunk 2077. However, and this is a big however, it doesn't actually support natively 4K 120Hz as advertised. In fact, what is happening here, Xiaomi is actually upscaling 4K 60 frames per second content to 120 frames per second using something called MEMC, which is this one. So I wouldn't actually recommend this TV for people who are very serious about gaming, such as us, right? Okay, for gaming, I give this TV a 6.5 out of 10. In terms of connectivity, all the holes that are given with this TV, I actually find that, well, they're pretty okay, except for the fact that there's only one HDMI 2.1 port. Now, if you try to plug in any device that requires HDMI 2.1, for instance, like a PS5 that I have and you don't have, into any of the other HDMI ports that are HDMI 2.0, it will do something very weird. Kind of like that weird cousin that always shows up during family gathering. He's very weird, you don't like him, but he's still invited and still boleh pakai lah, so I give it a 7 out of 10. The next thing we need to talk about is, of course, audio, because we are very cool, always like In terms of the audio, this TV comes with 2 tweeters and 4 woofers that is placed all over, okay? But you know what? So many woofer and so many tweeter doesn't help the sound actually, because the biggest problem with this thing is actually what you know or not, the resolution. When you play music or watch movie with this TV, it's kind of like listening in 720p, no, listening in 480p, you know, like zaman dulu, you know. Some of you might say, wow, but it gets very loud. Yeah, very good, because if your father or your mother like to watch Hokkien drama, no problem. If they like to listen to Ku Ikhlaskan, no problem. Loud enough from here to your kampong so can hear. But when it comes to the frequency response and the sound stage, the TV so big, so many tweeters, so many woofer, but it still sounds so congested, like during MCO like that. So very disappointing lah. I give this 7 out of 10. So go and buy a soundbar, and you have to lift your TV up first, which you have to pay extra. Finally, we have the app support, which is something that really made me very sakit hati, because I really wanted to like the app and the Android Smart TV support, all that stuff, because the interface is actually pretty nice and easy to navigate, as you can see. Not bad. And also the menu is very simple and user-friendly. However, I tell you, even with this very beautiful controller, which I like a lot, when you try to use the native apps that's in this TV, like Netflix or YouTube, for instance, put Netflix, we go Netflix now. Wait, you see? When you actually try to use it, you press resume, play. Wait, how long? Sun also come out already. Even my intern also move faster, although he's already a caterpillar. You see, when I press setting, look, it gets a little bit laggy, especially if you have another device plugged into the HDMI, which I do have right now. If I take that out, like this, and use it, faster! What is this magic? So every time I want to use the Netflix app, I have to go and plug out my PS5 lah, my 40,000 ringgit PC lah, is it? I'm a bangsawan You think I'm a sawan Xiaomi, please fix this Otherwise, I really like this TV give me this kind of thing. I don't need to game now, I give up gaming for you, can. At least, the least you can do is give me a smooth experience when I want to change my HDR mode. And because of the good effort with the clean interface and stuff like that, I can still give you a 6 out of 10 only because I also like this controller. To recap, here are the pros, mess and cons of the Mi TV Q1 75-inch. Overall, in terms of the build quality, the design and the panel itself, all these physical characteristics, I will give this TV an 8 out of 10. But because of the slightly misleading 4K 120Hz, I have to demote it down to 7.5 out of 10. And then, because of what? Because of that app being very glitchy and laggy sometimes, I have to demote it again. So finally, I give the Mi TV Q1 75-inch 7 out of 10. Honestly, given how impressed I was with the Mi 11 Ultra, which had one of the best camera sensors on the market to date, I was quite disappointed because I expected Xiaomi to give us something a lot more disruptive to the TV market, something that is very, very good value for your money and then also can blow the socks off the competitors. While it is still a very solid product when it comes to all the physical characteristics, we are talking about the build quality, the design as well as the panel. In terms of quality of life features such as the app integration and also the connectivity and stuff like that, it leaves a little bit more to be desired. And finally, unless you're somebody who cares a lot about gaming, 4K 120Hz for your current gen or next gen consoles, it is still a very good buy actually in terms of what you get. If you're a gamer who's very serious and you want to game and you don't want to lose, then maybe you should look elsewhere. If you thought this video is awesome, don't forget to like and share, okay? Because very easy, just click, that's what she said. And then you can also follow us on Facebook and Instagram to see more shenanigans from the Mob House crew, and subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit that notification bell like the girl that you have a crush on in school. And leave a comment down below because I will comment on your comment, reply to you because I'm very nice in our comment section after this. Okay, that's all. I need to go and makan, and I will see you in the next one. Today's comment section is about the Palit RTX 3060 Ti Color Pop review. We're going to start, of course, with YouTube. First comment from my Stexo. I could buy it for $700 or 650 euro. Is it worth it? I think about the ballpark. Kirin Telos is so pretty this GPU. Just like you, bro. You're also very pretty. Don't let other people tell you otherwise. Marfilm asked me if this card have coil winding. My sample, the one that we tested for all our benchmark during the entire benchmarking process, didn't have any coil winding. Also, I've been using it in another rig for a while now, also no coil winding. But your mileage may vary because I cannot guarantee lah. It's my case and your case, I don't know. Now, I give you some face on Facebook. J How You says AIO looks sick. Wow, I review GPU, you look at the AIO for what? YB Durian Meme says that this graphic card cannot handle the TNT explosion in Minecraft. Bro, the TNT explosion in Minecraft is so scary, no graphic card can handle. Philip Kim Bekota says he has a low-end PC. What GPU compatible with an A10700K? That CPU is very I don't know lah, you put what card there also probably will bottleneck lah. Maybe you can just upgrade the whole system lah. And that is all for this very color shifting comment session. Leave more comments and I'll try to comment on your comment, you commenter.